Now the way I can use these complex motions in a drill form is when Jim gives me the triangle step punch, I might triangle step Loy Kwan, starting with the jam, then kind of hang on and keep doing the Loy Kwan sub with the triangle. Now, if he went into a pull punch, I could do the triangle step Moi Kwan. Now, for complex attacks, say against the triangle step high punch, I might go into Tanda. Or the low punch, Gangda. Now, if that punch came high again, I might go into my Muay Jet Fun, outside jerking handed chop, or Wu Da Chan. Or I might go Lan Da Chow. Alright, next I'm going to show you something called chasing. First I'll do it with Bong and Tanda. So what my combination is going to be is from Bong, sticking to it, I'll come into the Tanda motion. Toi Ma, then I'll come here to the middle. Look at Bong, then I'll chase it around to the side. So each time, I chase the dummy around in a circle. Now I can do that same thing with Jam, Twin Da Chang Gai Jam. Jam, Twin Da Chang Gai Jam. Alright, the next chasing exercise I'm going to show goes from Pak to Tanda. Pak, Tanda, Pak, Tanda. You could also do that same thing with Fuk, Wu Da Chang Jam. Fuk, Wu Da Chang Jam. Alright, now the way I use the chasing principle, first of all, with the tan and bong. When I feel my hand has been trapped and is held onto, if he pulled and punched there and this hand was completely tied, it would be safe for me to turn to tan and then go in for a strike. If I were here, I wouldn't so much want to turn to tan because I'd be facing that punch. But if I know that either I have that hand trapped and his punch came, or whether he has my hand trapped and that punch came, it's safe then to open up and use that chasing motion. It would be safe anytime when you were in hand contact with him here. If your hand was touching his hand here, it's safe to turn it to that direction. See, now I never cross bong like this. I never used the cross bong in that situation. But if my arm were being pushed down or whatever, I know that I can then use that chasing, what's called guatsao, carrying the opponent's hand from one side of the line to the other. Now the same thing with the other drill. When that punch came here, I can just use that exact motion to carry and then hit. Now I don't particularly like to look at that big punch. I prefer to use this to carry and hit only if I knew that it was safe. For example, if I had seen that punch coming and I knew I was stepping to the outside of it, that would be a safe time to use that motion. I could use that just like I showed before with the can of worms situation, where when I feel that I've opened him up but I'm looking at the big punch, then I can use that as a block. The other time when I might do it is if that punch were coming and I use the inside jump. Now it is safe to carry him to the hit and then hit again. So you generally would use a guatsao motion to carry someone's hand past the line when it is no longer a threat to you. You never carry a hand across the line while it's coming at you. You never do that. If a low punch were coming at me, I would not want to do this. That would be considered a gyusao error, which I talked about in the Soodim Tao tapes, in the centerline theory. We never want to carry a hand across the line when it's still a threat. But once that hand is stopped, it's safe to carry it. That's what's called guatsao. Alright, next I'm going to show an exercise where you can pivot with one block and not pivot with the second block. So for example, pivot jam, no pivot bong. Jam, bong. Now you could do the same thing, pivot gum sao, and then no pivot raise bong. Pivot gum, raise bong. Or pivot gum, flat sao. Pivot gum, flat sao. Now another thing you could do here is pivot with your bong and then wu sao. Pivot bong, snap the wu sao. Alright, next I'm going to show a series of exercises where I step off with a grab and do a double kick, what is known as a mo yin gyuk, or shadowless kick. That means kicking twice without putting the foot down. Now in the first combination I'll use all front kicks. So I'm going to step off, grab, and then I'm going to go high kick, low kick. Step off, grab, high front kick, low front kick. Now I could reverse that. Step off, grab, low, high. Now another way I can go with that is to use a side kick instead. So I could step off, grab, high side, low side. Step off, grab, high side, low side. Or reverse that, grab, low side, high side. Now I can mix them, and I can say, for example, step off, grab, high front, low side. Or reverse that, high side, low front. Or go backwards. Step off, low front, high side. Or vice versa, step off, low side, high front. Alright, now the way I use this grab kick principle for combat. Say for example we're closed. Anytime when I feel bridge contact with my opponent's hand, I can pull him into a kick. And that pull adds power to my kick. It also keeps him from bouncing back when he gets kicked. So the first drill I showed like the front kick going up and then down. So from here, if I wanted to, I could go low and then high with the front kick. Later on I showed you how to go high and then low with the front kick. I also showed you how to go high with the side kick, or I showed you how to go low with the side kick. If the rear cross came here, you could go low with your side kick here. Or if that same cross came, you could have gone high front, low side. Or the front jab, I could have gone low front, high side. Or the jab, I could have gone low side, high front. So you can mix them around any way you want. The main objective is learning to pull the opponent in the opposite direction that you're kicking, so that you add power to your kick, and also you keep him from flying backwards after you kick him. Alright, next I'm going to do what's called Loy Kwan Sao snaking. So what I'm going to do is cling to the dummy's arm and snake around. So you see the low hand sneaks underneath, while the high hand flips over the top. And I flip around, clinging to the dummy's arms. Now I can do that